All right, so assuming you've already set up your account, we are now going to go create our first quick board. And our quick board is just like our whiteboard presentation. So on the web page, the home page, come here to start a quick board. Now, when you load up, you will have this image up on your screen. The code will be different. This is what you would use for students to join into your presentation during class if you want them to. We'll talk about that in another video. So it's going to open up with your list. Right now we don't have any students, so we're just going to close that by clicking on the people in a circle down here at the bottom. And this is your whiteboard. We're going to go through the tools on the side here. The first is the home. If you need to display that code again, maybe a student needs to join in after the rest of the class already has, you can pull that up by clicking on the house. And if you click it again, it will pull it up full screen. Next is the arrow keys. This lets you move your toolbar to the left or the right, and you should be able to also put it on the bottom. So wherever you want to have it is up to you. Next is this folder. This is where you're going to come to save your boards. So you'll give it a name, and it's going to save it to your Google Drive. It has created a MyViewBoard folder in your Google Drive automatically when you set your account up. If you already have a board saved, that will be in the next tab up here at the top, and you don't have to worry about these last two. Next is called the Magic Box. So the Magic Box is going to have a lot of tools for embedding or importing things into your presentation. There's nothing in some of the tabs, so this first tab is empty for right now. They're still working on adding things. Then you have your YouTube tab. You can add anything that you could find on YouTube in there, type it in, drag it over, drop it in, and you're ready to go. Then you have your Google Drive. Anything you have saved in your Google Drive, you can put in there. This is a slideshow that I built. You can drop that in there, or that I didn't build this one, someone else built that. But anyway, you can drag images in, just pretty simple. Next is the image search. This is just like searching for images on Google. Type in what you're looking for, drag the image over into your presentation. This is for embedding links. So if you have a URL or a web page that you know you're going to be accessing during your lesson, you can add it in here. And then you give it a title, and it'll create this little tile down here, and you can drag those onto the page. And then when you're presenting, you just click on it, and it'll take you straight to that page. So it could be a time saver. Nothing in the game controller right now. Then over here, the only tool that's really useful so far is the timer. When you go into present mode, you can set the time. This tool, we're not exactly sure what it does right now, so you can ignore it or play around with it. If you figure out what it does, let me know. That'd be awesome. Then at the very last section, we've got some preloaded images and things. In present mode, if you click on some of them, it'll animate them. So it might be something fun to use if you can find a use for that. So that's it for the Magic Box. So we'll move on down. Next is our select tool. That's pretty basic. It lets you click on things, and then any options that you have for that item will pop up. So all I can do with this is delete it. Next, you have your pen tool. You can do your basic writing. If you click on it again, it will give you color options. It will also give you your sliders for size or thickness, and this is your transparency. So if you want to use it as a highlighter, you would lower the transparency. You can add colors with the plus sign, and it'll pull up your color picker, and you just adjust the slider, and you can get any color imaginable. But up here at the top is something called the AI pen. So this is really neat. Let's go to a blank page. The AI pen will try and guess what you're drawing using Google's AI. So I'm not very good at drawing dogs, so I'm going to try and draw a dog. We'll see if Google can pick up what I'm trying to draw. Okay, so over here is a dog. I click on it, and it'll change my horrible drawing into a rather nice picture of a dog. So that's a pretty nice tool. So let's go back and turn that off. Other than that, it functions like a normal pen tool. Your eraser, you can use to erase anything you've drawn. If you click on it again, it will let you change the size of your eraser, and it will also allow you to erase everything on the screen. Next up, we have our shape tool. Lets you put in shapes, pretty straightforward. Click on it again, you can change the color, you can change the thickness of the border, you can change the transparency. Then it will also allow you to pick the other options of shapes down here. Your text tool, you click on that and it will open a text box. You type and you have your pretty basic controls, but there is one feature in here that's pretty nice, and that is the text to speech. So if you have a use for that, you click on it.
That's awesome. Dude, that's awesome.
And it'll read it out loud. And then, of course, you have your undo and redo buttons. And this very last one is going to pull up your pages, so you can jump through pages really quickly if you have a lot of pages. And this is just another view for them. All right, and then at the bottom is our Huddle button, so it'll open up your list of students, and we'll get into Huddle a little bit later. So that is it for the basic tools. There are a couple more additional tools down at the bottom that you might find useful. This is a polling tool, and we'll talk more about that in our next video. And this tool will block the student screens if they're following along